Hey, welcome back to Shake Hands with Destiny, where our whole mission is what? I only shake hands with my destiny if you shake hands with your destiny. Hey, y'all, I wanted to bring you a part two to how to dispute to charge offs, okay? But I wanted to add something to it. How do you dispute charge offs and get paid for it, okay? Let me make this clear. As a disclaimer, listen, I'm just giving you information about how to remove things off of your credit, talking all financial literacy type of things. Also, I'm not a lawyer by any means, so I'll be just guiding you through some practices so you can set yourself up in position, okay? And one of the things that I like to just tell you, you got a lot of things, a lot of people on YouTube, all over social media platforms telling you to do different types of quote unquote hacks. And some of those hacks, unfortunately, can land you in a lot of trouble, especially when you start talking about human trafficking and a lot of different identity thefts and all of that stuff. What I'm trying to do is actually position you legally, and that's what I want to show you. So if you haven't watched part one, go back and watch part one of how to dispute charge offs, and you're gonna see some powerful stuff. Everything from how to do step one and gathering all your reports. You're gonna see how to actually to get to see where your factual disputes are using AI. Like I showed you how to put your credit report inside of AI, and then once you put it into what you call AI or quote unquote Chat GPT, Chat GPT will then give you out all of your actual factual disputes that's actually on your actual credit report. So you don't have to worry about any more of I don't know what's on my credit report that's inaccurate because according to 15 USC 1681I, anything that is either inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable, it must be removed from your credit report. Okay, so that's going to also go to 15 USC 1681N, I believe it is. And we're going to go over that tonight, where you can actually set yourself up by positioning yourself by doing what you call procedural investigations, reinvestigations. But then after you do that, factual dispute. And I want to show you where you can actually set yourself up and position yourself to actually get money if you wanted to. I'm not telling anybody to sue you by any means necessary. I'm simply just telling you the process and what you want to do. And I want to also show you the full process tonight and how you can actually do your letters, how you can put your templates in, how you can rewrite the letters through Chat GPT. I'm going to give you every single thing, no stone unturned. Okay. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Give me just a second. All right. Guys, I'm getting better at this whole screen thing. Okay. All righty. Let's go. First, I want to ask y'all a question. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question here in just a second. And also, those that are rewatching this in the chat, I went ahead and put the replay of how to dispute charge-offs part one in there, but I'll also put it in the descriptions as well. And you can also see it come across the screen as well. Okay, so let's get it. Let's go. Let's file this lawsuit. All right, let's first of all understand compensation awarded in lawsuits against credit reporting agencies for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Violations can vary significantly based on specifics of each case. All right, I'm just curious, what do y'all think the average amount of money that a person has received in compensation for an individual? What do you think that is? What do you think it is? Consider $100, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. Let's see. Well, I did some research. Okay, the average amount in 2022 for an individual lawsuit was $4,800. What does this mean, y'all? This simply means that they were actually given a lot of inaccuracies and a lot of things in error. If you had the average person receiving $4,800, okay, that was a big increase just from 2018. I don't know what it is for 2024 or what it is for 25 yet, or I should say 24. We don't know the average this year yet. But just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was $4,800. It could have went up even more since then. So my point that I'm making is you might want to get a piece of that pie. Types of damages, okay? Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you got consumers, okay? You got consumers, you got different things consumers may be entitled to for various forms of different compensations. And there's 3 types of damages, okay? I can never say these ST words, so y'all just bear with me, okay? Statutorial damages, okay? That's what we're talking about when you talk about inaccuracies or things that are incomplete on your actual credit report. For willful violations, consumers can receive actually anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per violation. What does that mean? For example, we was looking at a credit report, and we'll look at some here tonight, a credit report where it was the date of last activity was incorrect. There was a whole year in difference. So one portion of the credit report, it said August of, let's just say, for example, it was about to come off 2018, okay? And the other one said August of 2019. So what that means is that's a year difference there. And this person has actually asked them to verify their account at least once before, okay? So I'm going to explain how this all going to go and why I'm telling you to go ahead and have all of this stuff in the process of everything. Why I want you to do this in a certain process is because it's all, if you do this right, it's setting you up for position. Actual damages, okay? Compensation for proven financial losses such as denied credit. So let's just say, for example, your credit score is 600 right now, but you have some inaccuracies on your credit report that you've been trying to get out off of your credit reports, i.e. a charge off, and it can be removed because of an inaccuracy. So you've already sent a procedural investigation. You've already sent a reinvestigation. So what's going to happen with that? It's still on your report after you asked them one time, you asked them twice. So let's just say, for example, you get denied for a vehicle, you get denied for a credit card, you get denied for furniture, or maybe your interest rate is much higher. Instead of you getting a 6% interest rate on your vehicle, your rate is 18%. Are you going to pay more? Yes. So those are the type of things you can actually put in a lawsuit or in a suit, okay? Punitive damages. In cases of egregious conduct, courts may award different sums of punishments offending the agency for different future, to deter future violations. So basically what that is if you say you're suing for 1,000, it can even go up a little bit higher because it's trying to deter them from doing these kind of things over and over again. And I say the average is $4,800. You got to remember, you're talking about a $1 billion industry in these credit reporting agencies, okay? So let's look at this again. What laws are we talking about? You can go to 15 USC 1681. Any person who willfully fails to comply with any requirement imposed under the subchapter with respect to any consumer is liable to that consumer. Who is the consumer? You. Who is any person? We're talking about the credit reporting agencies. In an amount and a sum of, as it says, for statutory damages, anywhere from $100 to $1,000, okay? Actual damages sustained, because sometimes what actual damages is can you have some things where all of a sudden you're going to you're getting sick, you're getting headaches, all types of things of that nature can start to add up, okay? So again, if a credit bureau willfully reports inaccurate information or it fails to correct inaccurate after proper disputes, the key word there is proper disputes, y'all. Hold on one second here. Okay, the key word was proper disputes. Okay, I wanted to make sure I was sharing. Because if you're not doing this the proper way, you're gonna fail. The minute you go to sue and you don't have your paperwork in order, you're gonna be all messed up. Okay, and I want to share all of that with you tonight. Yes, you can sue. Yes, you can sue you can sue the credit reporting agencies under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay, who is that? Who are the reporting agencies? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Okay, any of those guys, LexisNexis. Okay, whatever it is that's damaging those credit reporting agencies. Those are not bureaus. Those are not government agencies, guys. They are private entities. Mm-hmm. Again, any of them that still fails to correct the inaccuracies on your credit report, you have the right to take legal action against them. Okay, so please understand that. So understand, what are the steps though? What are the actual steps that you're going to actually take? Because this is actually vital information. Because if you don't take the right steps, if you don't keep your paperwork and your documents in order, you're not going to get anything. But if you simply keep your paperwork in order, this is a very simple process, guys. So one of the first things you're going to do, I said this last week on part one. The very first thing is what you're going to do is send off what you call a procedural investigation letter. Corey, what is that in layman's terms? What you're saying to the credit reporting agencies is, hey, I see some inaccuracies on my actual credit report. Are you going to tell them the inaccuracies on your credit report? Nope. It's going to be like needle in a haystack, because keep in mind, they should have already done an investigation when they first put this on your credit report in the first place. But they failed to do they failed to properly do the proper investigation anyway. Why? Because they make billions and millions of dollars to just report this. So they're not going to look and make sure that something is accurate going on your credit report. So the very first thing is you're going to say, I'm going to send off a procedural investigation letter. And you can go back and watch part one and look at that letter. And all that letter is saying, hey, I see some inaccuracies on my credit report. You're not going to tell them what the inaccuracies are. It's up to them to find them according to 15 USC 1681I A5, I believe it is. Yeah, it's up to them to actually find it. Okay. The second thing that you're going to do, because what is it? If you've done credit repair or you've done any kind of repair into your credit or attempted to repair your credit, what always happens? It comes back as verified, right? All right, that's exactly what we want. Did they actually verify anything? No. Did they contact anybody? No. It's just going to come back as verified. So a lot of times, the minute it comes back, because according to the 15 USC 1681I, it says they shall have the opportunity to actually correct their errors in those inaccuracies. But when they don't, what you're going to do is send off a second letter saying, hey, this is a reinvestigation letter. Are you going to tell them the inaccuracies? No, you're not. So now what you're saying is, now in the second step, you're going to say, hey, wait a minute now. I sent off the first letter. I sent off the second letter. And I still have inaccuracies on my credit report. I still have it where the date of first delinquency is incorrect. So it's aging my account. And you can go back and understand what that is. I'm still seeing all of these inaccuracies on my report. And now this is now 2 letters that I've sent off. Now, the third time, what you're going to do is send off what you call a factual dispute letter. The factual dispute letter, what that is now you're going to cite which factual dispute error was actually on your credit report. And this is going to many times get that off. If it doesn't, you go to the 4th time. Okay. So what you're going to do on all of this, you're going to keep that first report. You're going to keep that second report. And you're going to keep showing you're going to track all of your work to show, wait a minute, they didn't take it off 1, they didn't take it off 2, they didn't take it off 3. And now I got to send 4, a factual dispute. You want to keep all that information. I just wanted to make that clear for you. You want to exhaust the disputing process. That's what I just pretty much went over. And again, the bureaus may have conducted an investigation within 30 days. But do you have to wait 30 days to respond? The answer to that is no, guys. You don't. What you want to do is always set up your actual account with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Not a paid account. It's actually a free account where you can actually manage and track your disputes. So what that simply means is, if you mail off a letter today and they get it, let's just say they got the letter today because you sent it certified mail, and you're going to track when they received it, and they received that mail today. Oftentimes, they will actually have a rebuttal or a response back to you within 7 to 10 days. So if they respond within 10 days on their website, they may take them forever to send it by snail mail. But if they respond on their website, guess what? You're going to print that off, and then you can actually respond 10 days later instead of waiting 30 days. So this now expedites and speeds up the process, okay? If the credit bureau did not correct the errors provided in an inaccurate response, they are in what? A violation of the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay? I want you to gather all your stuff, okay? Like I said before, I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. I put it out here. Let's see here. I put it out right there. and you want to gather the copies of the dispute letter. So you want to get letter 1, boom. You want to get letter 2, boom. That's your procedural and your reinvestigation. Why is it important to do it like this? This is how you get to the paper, y'all. This is how you get to the bread. Okay. If the average is $4,800, you talking about that's one particular account. One account. So if you got 3 charge-offs with inaccuracies, you do the math. Okay. That's not including Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax that you can sue all different ones if they all have inaccuracies. Okay. I want you to also keep your receipts. Okay. What I mean by that is I want you to send everything by certified mail. Guys, listen. I know somebody gonna come back and say, man, it's $4 and $5 and $6 per letter that I'm sending. This is an investment, guys. This is an actual investment that you're doing with your credit. What do I mean by an investment? If you're paying someone to do your credit for you, which I recommend always learning to do it yourself. But even if you were paying someone, what is that? That's still an investment. So yes, it's going to be, you got to pay a little bit to play. Okay. So yes, go ahead, send that stuff off, get those tracking numbers, because that's going to be vital if you ever take it to small claims court, or even if it's a federal case. Okay. You want to get the credit bureau's responses, okay, or the lack thereof responses. So you want to track their website, and you want to take snapshots if they do not respond. You want to say, hey, I got it on my website, so they did not get back to me on their particular website. They did not get to me by email. If they did respond by email, you want to make sure you can track that as well. Copies of your credit report. Go ahead, print your credit report off every single month, and I want you to show where they've made any changes to your credit report, or for that matter, lack of making any changes to your credit report. Okay, because if inaccuracy remains on there multiple times, for example, if it's the same inaccuracy where we use the date of last activity, it's still the same 1 month, after 2 months, after the second month, and then after the third time, you can see right there, they're not doing any type of investigation or procedural or reinvestigation for that matter. Which is now they're non-compliant. I want you to then file a complaint after that second time. You can go right to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, okay, and you can file a complaint. If you go back to part 1, I do show you the screen prints of how to actually file through the CFPB, okay? And you just put all of your information in there. I put that all in part 1, okay? And what that is the CFPB is like the police over the actual credit bureaus. They're actually a bureau, which is a government, it is a government-ran facility, okay? Entity, I should say. All right, sue in federal or small claims court. Yes, you can sue, y'all. You can sue these people. The Fair Credit Reporting Act under 616 or 617, you can still, if they refuse to correct inaccuracies, okay? I didn't go back and read. It was $4,800 initially. I don't think I put it on there. Somebody has won $1.6 million several years back. For inaccuracies on a credit report. Come on, y'all, get to the bag if they're not doing this. I'm not telling anybody to sue, but this is also, once you have all the ammunition in your ballpark, in your corner, now you can play with whatever you want to play with, and you say, hey, I'm gonna sue you, okay? I got $1,000 per violation. I got 4 of those. I got actual damages because I tried to get my interest rate on my car, it was going to be much higher. I got denied X amount of loans because that went up. I got headaches over this stuff because I'm trying to buy a house, and y'all will not get this stuff off of my credit because it is inaccurate. My wife is down my back. I had to see my therapist. That's what I mean by actual damages. That's what emotional distress is. Okay, I'm not saying that you have that, but those are the examples of that. Punitive damages, like I said before, violations are intentional. The court may award additional penalties. And if you end up getting a lawyer, then you don't have to have a lawyer. Let me make this clear. You do not have to have a lawyer to do this, okay? But if you do get a lawyer, that's going to then increase everything because you got court costs, you got attorney fees. Yes, you can send a demand letter. Watch this. I love this part right here. Yes, you can send a demand letter to the credit bureaus, okay? You can send it right to the credit bureaus for damages before filing a lawsuit. What does that mean, Corey? What that simply means is, you can send before filing a lawsuit, okay? You can send a formal demand letter to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, requesting monetary damages along with, hey, I want this removed. And guess what? If you may be talking about one account, but you may say, I want this account, this negative account removed. I want that negative account removed. I want that negative account removed. I want the bankruptcy removed. Because they may say, man, this dude got $10,000 in damages. All we got to do is hit a button and it's wiped off their credit. This is what so you can write a demand letter without even going to court. Will you sometimes get less money? Most likely, yes. But are you ultimately killing two birds with one stone? You may be wiping your credit and you may get a little less money and it can be much faster. Remember that you can do this after what? The procedural investigation, after the what? Reinvestigation. So it's once you have them twice, those two letters go out. Literally, that can be 2 weeks from now, and 2 weeks from now, two letters you could have received a response. Because remember, they respond 7 to 10 days. I personally would not. You still want to give them 30 days. That reinvestigation letter, though, they have only 15 days to respond. Okay. I believe it's in, I don't want to cite the law right now, but on that reinvestigation letter, they only have 15 days. So at the bare minimum, let's just say it did take them 30 days on that procedural investigation and 15 days on the reinvestigation. You're talking about 45 days, 45 days. So literally 45 days from now, which is what, the end of March, basically the end of March, 1st of April, you could be sending in a demand letter talking about my XYZ violations, punitive damages, statutorial, don't give me my ST word. All of my damages are now $6,000. Okay. And now they may offer a rebuttal and offer you, well, I tell you what, we're going to take care of your credit and we're going to do it for $2,000. Okay. So that's what that is. So let's keep going. Let's look at an example. I hope you guys can see this. This is an example of a demand letter. Hello, dear Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. All right, this is a formal demand for damages under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I am writing to formally demand damages. Okay, I'm going to read this in case you can't see it here, because I can't make it. Let's see, I might be able to make the view. Well, I'll just leave it there. Hopefully, you guys can see it. I am writing to formally demand damages for a continued failure to correct what? Inaccuracies. But if you don't do this the first time, you can't do this letter. Inaccurate information on my credit report, despite multiple disputes under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, because you've done this now twice. On this date, what date did you dispute it? Because you sent X date. I sent the procedural investigation letter requesting verification of charge-off accounts. From where? From who? XYZ account. The response I received did not satisfy the requirements of their Fair Credit Reporting Act, which they probably said is just verified. And the inaccurate information does what? It remains on my credit report. So on X date, I sent my reinvestigation request. I sent the reinvestigation request, which was either ignored or resulted in the same inadequate what? Verification. I'm sorry. Let me rewind it here. Same inadequate verification. Your continued failure to properly investigate and correct this error is a direct violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act and has caused me financial and emotional distress. My damages include denial of credit. Again, I'm only doing this as an example, which means maybe I got denied for a credit card that I may have gotten approved for. Maybe I got denied for a home because I'm trying to get my home up to a certain score, but I can't qualify for the home. And now this is causing me a lot of stress because I know this rental that I'm in, the lease is about to come up. I'm stressed out. We ain't gonna have nowhere to stay. And I can close on this house if y'all simply remove this from my credit, or in this case, it's on there because you're fighting and disputing because it's inaccurate and they haven't now done it. And you want everything to be accurate. Why? Because that's the law. Higher interest rates due to falsely lowered credit score, emotional distress. Okay, so your statutory damages up to $1,000, punitive damages, attorney fees, court costs, and then at the bottom here is I am requesting a settlement. Again, this is before you actually go to court. This is before small claims. This is before any kind of federal. I am requesting a settlement amount in the amount of X to compensate for damages I have suffered due to the non-compliance with the Federal Credit Reporting Act. Okay, if I do not receive satisfactory response within 15 days, I will proceed with filing a formal lawsuit against X Credit Bureau and in small claims or federal court for willful non-compliance federal law. What does that mean? They know the lawsuit is going to be much higher at that point. It's going to be much larger amount because you got lawyers and fees and so forth. And I expect, and plus it's not going to be public as well. I expect proper resolution to this timely manner. Please respond in writing to confirm how you will and to address. They may come back and try to actually negotiate this. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, they may try to negotiate. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing for a second. Got it. So what that simply means, okay, they actually may go ahead and renegotiate, okay? So and say, you know what, instead of me giving them 5,000, I may offer 2,500. You may come back and say, no, give me 3,500 and remove all my stuff clean slate. What am I simply saying? You can actually have this done, guys, in a matter of a month and a half, 2 months, and you can actually have your credit wiped clean legally, y'all. This is not a human trafficking. This is not falsely saying identity. This is completely legal. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and look at a couple of credit reports, and I want to actually show you step by step how you would start this process. Okay. Very first thing is what you would do. And if you're already in our community, guys, go ahead and definitely be in our community. And I'm going to just show you a couple of steps of how you want to do this. So I'm going to share my screen once again. All righty, I'm sharing my screen here. If you're already in our community, you just go over to classrooms. And if this is the case, we're just going to go right to our charge offs. And since this is, you have a whole mastery course in this thing, it has everything here. We're going to go to procedural investigation. So what I would do here, I will watch a video here telling me everything I need to do. Step by step is all there. Go right to this procedural investigation. I would simply take this letter here, and I'm just going to simply write this letter out. I'm going to take the highlights here. I'm going to put my name, the last four of my social, date it, which credit bureau I'm sending it to. You're going to put in the account as is listed. So for example, I'm going to put, let's just use this account here. I'm going to go to I'm going to pull up a credit report here. So in this case, I will pull up this, it looks like that Synchrony Bank Care Credit. So I crossed out the account number here for the person's actual protection. So I will put that name. I will put the account number exactly as it reads. So a lot of times it'll be 123 4 XXXX. Put exactly as it reads. So I will take that, put exactly how it reads here, just like it reads here. SYNCB / care credit. And then I'm going to go back to that letter. Okay. I will put that there. And then if I have a second account, I'm going to use that second, put that second account there. and third account there, and so forth. This is just your procedural investigation letter. All this is you simply saying, hey, I'm having some issues with my actual credit report, okay? And I see some inaccuracies on it. You find it. As you can see what I'm writing here, it says in that first line, first paragraph, I'm writing to formally request a procedural investigation into several inaccuracies that I have identified on my credit report. These inaccuracies, I guess I could have made this a little larger. There we go. There we go. All right, there we go. I am writing to formally request a procedural investigation into several inaccuracies that I've identified on my credit report. These inaccuracies are affecting my ability to obtain credit, and I believe a detailed investigation into these methods used to verify these items is warranted under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Something of that nature. Again, you don't have to use the same exact verbiage that I'm using here. You can definitely put this particular letter right directly into Chat GPT and have it write it's another version of the procedural investigation, or you can simply write it yourself or something of that nature. What am I requesting for? Request for compliance. I put here. I request that you conduct a thorough procedural investigation to verify the accuracy of the information I've disputed. Next thing is please provide documentation or a detailed explanation of the findings, including names, contact information of the furnishers contacted as part of the investigation. Are they going to do that, y'all? Heck no, they ain't going to do that. Lastly, I would appreciate your immediate attention to these errors and your compliance in correcting them promptly upon verification of any inaccuracy. So what am I actioning them for? According to 15 USC 1681, I can't talk all of a sudden, IA 5, anything that is inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable. So I'm asking them verify it. And also I'm asking them correct the inaccuracies, okay? So as stipulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, your duties include ensuring that all credit information is reported with my highest level of accuracy, which includes the responsible verification process. Failure to comply with these requirements could result in what? Legal repercussions. So I'm telling them right now, I'm giving you a warning. If you do not take this matter seriously, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your backside, baby. I'm coming for you. So right there, this is your procedural investigation. So that's the first letter that I'm going to send off. So now, how did I send that letter? How did I send it? I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. How did I send that letter, folks? I sent that letter certified mail. Then what I'm going to do after I send it certified mail, I'm going to send it, I'm going to track that. I'm going to show you a tracking sheet that you can utilize as well. You're going to also do what? Remember, you're going to go to Equifax. You're going to go to TransUnion. You're going to go to Experian. You're going to sign up for their free sign up, which can have you track the actual dispute process. So that allows you to then do what? Respond faster. So let's just say now they responded in 10 days. Okay. Well, first of all, what I would have done here next, what I would have went to my tracking sheet. I'm going to share my screen here in just a second here. I would have went to my tracking sheet. All righty. Guys, give me a minute here. I'm going to share my screen. What I would do here is I would just fill out this tracking sheet. Date of credit report. So what date was this actual credit report? This credit report was 02 18 20 25. Account name, you said it was Synchrony Bank. I'm just gonna type that out there. The account number, what am I doing? What I'm doing here is I'm keeping a track who was the original creditor? So let's just say if it was a charge off and this is the collection company or whoever the original creditor is on that, you want to put that so it was still Synchrony Bank balance showing if there's a balance. Why am I taking track of this sheet here? So now I'm going to send out, what type of letter did I send? I'm sorry, name of target. Who did you send this to? You sent this to who? TransUnion. I sent it to Experian. And I sent it to Equifax. What type of letter did I send? I sent a procedural investigation letter. What date did I mail it? 2/18. 25. What was my tracking number? Because I sent it certified mail. Watch this. Now what I'm going to do is, what date did they actually receive it? Uh-oh, I put the wrong date in there. I put 02/18/2025 is the date that I mailed it. So in a few days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to USPS tracking, and I'm going to track what day that they actually received that. Why? Because that starts their timetable on when they have to respond back to me. So let's just say today is the 18th. Let's just say, for Pete's sake, they're going to get it Friday, okay? Which is what? 3 days from now, the 21st, okay? So they're going to receive it February 21st, 2025. What was their response? Okay, so now I'm tracking. You get where I'm going with this. You want to track your response, because what this is simply doing is this is allowing you to keep all of your data together. Okay, that's why I say use this tracking sheet. Okay, if you're in our community already, all of this is there. Okay, so now they've responded back to you and it said verified. So I would put they stated verified. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to my second thing, and I'm going to go to my second sheet. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go to our reinvestigation. So I'm going to follow the rules here. Go grab that letter. I'll pop that out here and let me zoom it in. So this is now my reinvestigation. So what I'm going to say in my reinvestigation letter, I'm writing because I reviewed my credit report and found several inaccuracies on my report. Okay. You want to cite this law at the top of section 611A 1A. Okay. These accounts are adversely affecting my credit report. I request reevaluation. In order to have reinvestigation. In order to say a reinvestigation, you had to first have a what? Investigation. That was your procedural investigation of inaccurate information on my report. Am I gonna tell them what's wrong with my report? What's wrong with my credit report here? No, I'm not. I am invoking my right to a detailed and meaningful reinvestigation of the items listed below. Again, what I'm going to put is the account name and the number. Requested verification. Please provide a detailed description of the procedure used to verify. I'm going to list the accounts here. Now watch this subject, this one here. In line with these provisions, I request comprehensive description of the procedure used to verify the accuracy and completeness of this information, which should be provided within 15 days. Why is that 15 days there? Because it is a law that says now for the reinvestigation, you go back and go into 15 USC 1681I, it's going to talk about the reinvestigation portion. They give them 15 days, okay? So at most, you got 45 days max, okay? Following the completion, 15 days following the completion of the reinvestigation. This includes the name, address, telephone number of each individual contacted regarding this alleged account, along with copies of any documents bearing my signature. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did they give you a signature, y'all? Did they give you a signature? No. Okay. So, and then there's the down here below. Please be aware that the I apologize there. There we go. Be aware that the automated automated responses or EOSCAR verifications are unacceptable for addressing this matter. And that's just a system that they use. A detailed reinvestigation, explicit disclosures of the verification method are required as per statutory guidelines. Y'all leave me alone with that ST words. Again, what am I doing down here? Watch this, guys. I'm going to warn them again. I'm not going to read all of this here. Please note that failure to satisfactorily resolve this matter within 30 days of receiving this certified letter may prompt me to initiate a small claims action against your company seeking $1,000 per violation. Again, what did we talk about before 1681, 15 USC 1681 N? It talks about give me the money, give me the bag, up to from anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per violation. I'm warning them yet again. And guess what, y'all? Many times after reinvestigation, guess what happens? They continue to do the same thing over and over again. So that means they remain inaccurate things are going to remain on your actual credit report. Okay. That's what's going to happen. So now you're going to send what you call a factual dispute letter. Let's go and look at a factual dispute. But in order to go into a factual dispute, what did I do to find out what my factual dispute was? As I said in part one, I'm not going to do it here. What I did was I showed you how to put your actual credit report directly into Chat GPT. And I'll actually link a video here and showing you how to actually just do that as well and using AI. So you can actually, I'll put it here and you can see it at the end of this video, or I'll put it in the description where you actually put your credit report in Chat GPT. It's going to then tell you all of the factual disputes that are now in your credit report. So what I'm going to do from here, now I'm going to go back over here to my thing here. Go ahead and share once again. So let's go ahead and go to factual dispute. So in here, as you can see, if you're in our course already, this thing is amazing, y'all. I give you some most common errors. Okay, so let's just say we were looking at a credit report and it says not indicating when or if the account was sold, not reflecting the zero balance, date of last delinquency is incorrect, or date of last activity. Let's use this one right here, number 7, because date of last activity, because I actually was looking at one here, and that's what the actual issue is. Let's take a peek here. I want to show you here what I mean by that. Let's look at this credit report. Date last active. You see that there? This means this was the last time this account was active. Okay? So this means this should fall off of the credit report as of 8/31 2018. That means 7 years is coming up this year in 2025, and this person could actually ask for an early exclusion where they actually can take it off your credit report anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on which credit reporting agency you're dealing with. Okay, but watch this. So it should come off basically in 7 years, right? But this is a major problem. Look at this right here. Date of last activity. 8/1/2019, 8/31/18. So this is now going to stay on there a whole nother year later. So now this is a chart. Now, yes, you may say, well, Corey, the older a charge off is on my credit, the better. Yeah, true. And it's a zero past due because this particular situation was a repossession, which ultimately was a charge off. Yeah, but is it looking at my credit and is it maybe stopping me from maybe getting a 0%? Maybe I want to get a 0% interest card over here. Maybe I want to get the best possible interest rate over here. So this particular case is 100% factual dispute that we're going to dispute here. Okay. So I just wanted to show you which one we're using here. So what I would do is take this right here, date of last activity, take that statement here, and I will go over to my letter. I'm going to go back to factual dispute. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to get my factual dispute letter. And of course, if you needed additional inaccuracies, you could always go here and it gives you a ton. Watch a video on it. But I'm just going to grab that letter and zoom in a little bit. So now this is our factual dispute letter. Okay. Just want to fill out the highlighted areas. You only want to use one. Again, you don't want to put 1, 2, 3 different disputes on a letter. Why is that? Because you only want to use one dispute per letter that you're going to be sending out. Why? Because if you put multiple ones on there, it's two things that can happen. One, they could correct both of those, and now you don't have as much power going down the line. Two, if you use the same dispute multiple times, they're going to now say that your dispute is frivolous. Okay, so you only want to use one at a time because they could correct it on there, and you may have to. You want some ammunition for the fourth time. But I promise you this: if you use AI, ChatGPT, and it's basically you're going to use Metro 2 compliance almost using AI to find the errors for you. It's going to give you a lot of times double digits, guys, anywhere from 5 to 10 errors easily per account. So you're going to have some stuff to work with. I think we had one the other day had 14 errors. Okay, so here we go. I'm writing to demand the immediate deletion of the following account because of inaccuracies listed on my credit report. Okay, as data persistently fails to meet the accuracy required set forth by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and specifically under these particular laws here, this demand for deletion stems from the failure to accurately report my consumer credit report information following the previous notice of discrepancies. Okay, so right here, I want to list the account name, the creditor's name. I want to list the account name here. I want to go back up to this highlight, and you want to put this to, if it's Experian, or maybe it's an inconsistent balance. So maybe you're sending it to all three. So you're going to do 3 different letters the same way: one to Experian, one to Equifax, one to TransUnion. And what you want to do is whatever that factual dispute was. Okay, so in this case, you would say, my date of last activity is inconsistent. It states that my date of last activity on TransUnion was 8/31/2018, but on Experian, it was August of 2019. So you would send this letter to both parties, one to Experian, one to TransUnion. I don't think Equifax was actually reporting it at all. So you wanted to send it to both parties. So you make 2 of these letters here, okay? And you would send this off. And this is where I personally, I would definitely save all 3 of these letters here. I'm going to stop sharing. You would save all of these letters here. And the minute you got those letters all about, I would now submit that they're going to make this correction most likely after the 3rd or after the 4th round. That doesn't mean that you still can't sue after this has happened, because why? It took them 4 opportunities to actually sue. But I would have sent that letter to the actual I would start that suing process after letter 2, to be quite honest, if you 100% have your inaccuracies for sure. And definitely if after the 3rd one, if you do a factual dispute letter and they still sit there and say no, you definitely want to send that 3rd letter, okay? So this is how you actually do this. And I want to just say this one last step, because I told you before to always do it by what? Certified mail. I told you before to actually track your actual information on their website so you can respond faster by going through each particular step. But I would highly recommend you go through and watch the AI video on how to find your disputes. Because I mean, your factual errors. I notice most people go wrong because they say, oh man, let's look at a credit report real quick so I can show you what I'm saying. Let's take a peek here. Hold on. To the naked eye, if I start looking at this line by line, closed, 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 monthly 000, date open 3/31/21. That's right. Balance. It can have a balance here because if they haven't sold this, it can still have a balance. So that's right. Number of months just says revolving right there. Okay, doesn't say anything right there, but high credit 3444. It doesn't show anything there, no data. That's something you could do something with, but let's look here where it says credit limit. You see that? Now, in your mind, you may be going 3,100. Yeah, that was my credit limit, 3,100, 3,100. But guess what, y'all? You cannot have a credit limit on a charge off. Wouldn't you like to have a $3,100 limit and the card is charged off and you would still like to use it? You cannot show a credit limit on a charge off. My point that I'm making is, to the naked eye, you may have said, they reported everything accurately here. So my point that I'm making is, go ahead and use AI to help you find that factual dispute. Of course, if you're already in our community, definitely I can help you through this process, y'all. I would love for you to do me a favor, though. If this video was helpful for you, go ahead and like on it, subscribe to the channel because I'll be dropping more impactful videos as well. Go ahead and drop a comment below. Go ahead and grab my charge off guide if you want to just do that, and it'll take you step by step. And all of my ebooks, most of my ebooks have videos in them step by step. So if you want to grab the booklet there in there and you say, Corey, I don't want to be in the community, I don't want to do that, but I need some step by step guidance with all of the letters and everything, grab our how to dispute charge off guide. But if you say, hey, Corey, I really want more of this and more of how to get rid of my get my credit up to 700 plus, get all of the things in there, join our community. If you want to go ahead and so you can learn passive income, business credit, how to start a business, and have a whole slew of things, go take a peek at our community, okay? Why am I doing this, guys? I'm doing this because I only shake hands with my destiny if you shake hands with your destiny. Let's get it. Let's go.